All right. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. This is the Ascension workshop, and we are going to break through anything you may be holding on in the third dimension. We're going to the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and the seventh. It'll all make sense if you haven't been through it before. And we're going to kind of take our time on that journey, and that'll take somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes when we get started on that. But I wanted to start just by framing this that you, me, all of us are multidimensional. We all have it within us like an elevator button. We can go up and down to whatever dimensional level we want to. And of course, before you can go to a certain dimensional level, you have to understand it. You have to have an understanding of it and have an experience of it. And once you have this experience under your belt, you really can use this meditation and take yourself wherever you want to go. It is only by ignorance and by default that we stay in the third dimensional construct. It's important to us. The people we love are in the third dimensional construct. Everything we know and all our history is in the third dimensional construct. Everything that defines who we are is in the third dimensional construct. But ascension is a little bit different. Ascension is letting go of that, not letting go of it even physically, because when we're finished with this meditation, you'll open your eyes, you'll be in the same house or apartment, you'll have the same husband or wife, the same kids, the same bank account. Nothing externally will change, but internally, your wavelength will be different. And you will begin to start to attract more in alignment with that wavelength. And another thing I'll say, which is important to understand, our goal is the sixth dimension, and we'll talk about this much more when we get there. Our goal is to anchor as a collective in the sixth dimension. And anchoring in the sixth dimension or in any dimension other than the third dimension is muscle memory. What you're doing is you are softening your consciousness or getting your consciousness used to another way of thinking. And the more you elevate, the more you ascend, the more you do these exercises, and the more you stay connected to these higher dimensional inputs, the more comfortable that sixth dimension starts to feel. And the more you start to learn about it, and the more you start to learn how you fit into the sixth dimension. And the more you do that, the easier it becomes. And so it becomes and becomes and becomes easier and easier and easier until it becomes natural and normal. Now, in the sixth dimension, which is where we're going to anchor, we'll also experience the seventh dimension today. But in the sixth dimension, which is a good place to anchor, it's a dimension where when somebody else shows up, a real energetic connection is made. So we've got 10, 11 people here who we will be able to feel that energetic connection at the sixth dimension. And the point is not to experience it, but to integrate that experience, linger in that experience, as a friend told me, linger in this experience until it starts to feel normal and natural. And then this is where we start to stay. So the more people who anchor in the sixth dimension, the easier it is for everybody else to anchor in the sixth dimension. And this is, as a Utopia collective, this is where we will start to capture our power. And so that being said, first of all, before I begin, I open it up to any questions or thoughts or any, particularly from anyone who's new, or anybody. Do you have any questions or expectations that you want to make sure that's, or something that you want to make sure that I address? Not all at once. I can't handle it. I'm just kidding.
This is Joey. I actually have a question.
Hi, Joey. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you as well. So I have had a couple previous experiences with a similar kind of ascension meditative practice, but the person that I was working with always was a little cautionary that it was not something that one should maybe technically do by themselves, or that one should really understand and anchor first. And, you know, I try not to kind of let fear or trepidation like make my decisions for me. And I kind of understand, you know, fear is what you make of it. But I just wanted to kind of I'm just curious about your opinion on that or what your thoughts are. Thank you.
Appreciate you asking the question. First of all, and this is something I really don't talk about in general, I personally have developed a 10-dimensional model. This 10-dimensional model is my own thinking. I didn't copy it or borrow it from anybody. As I explained last week, and we'll do it again, it comes from the Sri Yantra, which is a 10,000, possibly 15, possibly 50,000-year-old drawing that describes, boom, the bursting of energy and how energy transforms down into the third dimension and then rises back up and then keeps pulsating like that. And I've studied not only the Sri Yantra, but I've also studied Egyptian enlightenment, Tibetan Buddhist enlightenment, Taoist enlightenment, non-dual Shaiva Tantra enlightenment, which perfectly matches up to the seventh dimension, by the way. If you're into non-dual Shaiva Tantra, the Shiva Sutra, etc., we could talk about that separately. That is a beautiful description of the seventh dimension. And one other Vedic wisdom, of course. And so, from all of that over the past 20, 30 years, I've built my own library of enlightenment. And the books I've written, the meditation book, The Cycle of Mind, I really wrote for myself to kind of document what I've learned and give myself something to hold on to. And so I don't claim that, look, I mean, 10, the 10-dimensional model, is this how it is? Of course not, right? We're talking about an infinite universe. But what I have been able to do, and what you'll experience today through the seventh dimension, is each dimension that I'm defining in my model is a separate experience, a separate level of consciousness. So in my experience of doing this work myself and bringing now several people along, because there are several people here who have already last week were here for the sixth and seventh dimension, there is no harm whatsoever in anchoring yourself in higher dimensions. I will say, and once you begin the anchoring work over a longer period of time, it does shift you away from third dimensional reality. So that's the whole point. We want to ascend from the third dimension to get out of that into something else. But that very feeling of being out of it can be a little scary. And it can be a little weird. I was talking to someone else. I think Ida asked me a question about tennis. And I said, first of all, let me preface this by saying I'm hanging on to the third dimension by a thread. So I don't really care that much about tennis, but I do still play tennis to stay in shape and to have fun. So my answer, Joey, is that this is my model, not anybody else's model. I don't get this or copy this from anyone else. And in this model, the higher you go, the more blissful you will feel, the more comfortable it will start to feel, and you can begin to be in that level of consciousness, whatever level of consciousness you choose to be in, as often as you want. And the more time you spend in it, the more muscle memory you get, the more you become like that dimension. So I experience it. If it frightens you in any way, then, if it doesn't resonate, and that goes for everybody, not just you, Joey. If this doesn't resonate, then just X out immediately and get out. Bad juju. We don't want that. But if it does resonate with you, you'll see what I mean. It's a perfectly peaceful place to be. And it is better to anchor in higher dimensions than to trap yourself continuously in the third dimension. You don't have to stay there. That once you understand these higher dimensional models, it's now becomes a choice to stay in the third dimension. And from what I see, other than family and friends and physical comfort, which are not going to go away when you ascend to higher dimensions, you'll still have the same family, the same house, the same car, the same bank account. Everything will be exactly the same. Just better. You'll be better. You'll be ascended. And here's another thing too. On that topic, not did that answer your question, Joey?
Yeah, thank you. That resonates very well. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay. One other thing too, because this always comes up too, is my family going to go with me when I ascend? Well, first of all, today we're not ascending to a place, right? We're just looking inward and excluding everything that's not ascended so we can feel the connection with source and the ascension ourselves. So the point here is to experience it. We're not going anywhere. As the collective grows, it's very possible we may decide we are going to go somewhere. Let's say we want to go, to Greenland, or I don't know, let's say that happens. Just put that in the future as a possibility. I can tell you one thing. I would be very hard pressed to want to go somewhere with you guys without my wife, Beverly. because she's like maybe that's a try, but like like she's the other half of me, and she's the one who's has encouraged me and given me space and all that. I really love her. We have a great relationship. We've been together. We're going to be celebrating our 40th. Our next anniversary will be our 40th anniversary. So I'm not going anywhere without her. Now, 3 years from now, I might feel differently about it, but the way I feel about it today is she's coming with me. And then I know for a fact she's not going anywhere without the kids and the grandkids. So now we've got 13 people in Greenland, only one of which is working on Ascension, which leads me to believe, or it leads me to say, because I don't know what the future is, but it leads me to say that the collective includes everybody. If you're a nice person, if you have a good heart, if you're kind and generous, you're in the collective. You don't have to ascend, but there's going to be a core group of people in the collective who want to ascend. And so, what I would tell you, if you have that question, what about my husband? What about my wife? What about my kids? My contract, or the collective contract with you, is to help you ascend. If your husband wants to come along, hey, come on, you can come too, right? You can come too. Meet my wife. She's not ascending either. You can come too. The collective is a big tent, right? Anybody who's a nice person can come, but your husband may not want to ascend. You want to, right? You want to experience what it's like. And as you experience what it's like, 99 out of 100 people would want to continue that experience because it feels good, it feels healthy, it feels flowing and aligned. It just feels very, very good, and you'll experience that in a few minutes. But everyone else is welcome too. So yeah. Yeah, let me just stop saying that because I'll just repeat what I just said. Does that make sense? Because I know that's a really important question for people. And then I started to think about it myself. Like, what if I would ask that question? Because I don't really want to go anywhere without my wife. Maybe she's my security blanket. Maybe I need to break out of that. But the truth is, we're married for 40 years. She's coming, and she's not. If she's coming, then all the kids and the grandkids are coming. So now what do we have? We have a community where only a small percentage of people are actually doing the inner work of ascension, and a larger collective, um, which isn't ascending, but is on that same path, on that same journey with us. Not to say that we are planning on going anywhere. I mean, that's I just made that up. That may not happen. It may happen. It may not. I don't know. All right. Good. All right. We're gonna do the whole fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh dimensional meditation in one shot. So I'm gonna kind of do it as a meditation, but I'm also gonna talk a lot. You can keep your eyes closed the whole time. You can open your eyes, close your eyes whenever you feel like, or just keep them closed the whole time. Either way. But I'm just giving you warning. It's going to be about 20 minutes that we're going to be doing this. And then after we do this, we'll go into smaller breakout groups and we'll decompress from this experience or share our experiences. All right. So relax as best you can. Let all the tension flow out. Let all the projecting stop. Stop projecting and just turn inward. Just relax and let all the stress flow out of your body, flow through the floor, your feet, your arms. Most of my stress is neck down to the shoulders. So try to release as much stress as you can. And close your eyes. And I want you to notice, and every time you meditate, you should be thinking this to yourself. So you should be repeating this to yourself every time you meditate. Even with your eyes closed, often, and I feel it, so I know you all feel it, your awareness is still projected outward. Your attention, your focus is still outward. It may be that you hear yourself wordifying, you may be thinking of pictures, you may be running this, dialogue in your head. You're still projected outward. It's a very subtle thing, but the Taoists are very big on not losing energy, preserving your energy. And in their meditations, when you feel your light projecting outward, it's a very subtle thing, but I want you to reverse the light and bring it inside your own being. I want each of you to feel that for yourself. Reverse your light and bring it back inside your own being. That's called inner sight. And once you lock in on your inner sight, I want you then to imagine like a stone or a rock in the ocean, just going down, 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 deeper and deeper and deeper, anchored in your inner being. And the first thing I want you to do with your inner sight is put your inner sight on your diaphragm. Don't change anything, just observe using your inner sight and just observe how your diaphragm expands and air comes rushing into the lungs and it contracts and the air goes out of the lungs. And just watch that inner process for a few breaths. Again, if you do feel your attention or awareness outward, just reverse that and get it back to your inner sight inside your being. I want you to imagine now that all of us in this room are on an airplane and we all have window seats. And it's our turn for takeoff. And the pilot, boom, steps on the gas, starts going down the runway. The plane is going faster and faster, and all of a sudden it elevates into the air. And in a minute or two, you can look down, you can see the cars on the highway. You can start to see the city, the rivers as we get higher and higher. You can see the water, the lakes, the rivers, the farmland, the city itself, and you get higher and higher and higher. We get higher above that landscape. But the plane keeps elevating, and eventually the plane goes into the clouds. And as soon as we go inside the cloud, everything gets gloomy. The windows are a little bit misty, but the plane keeps rising, and now it rises above the clouds. It comes out through the top of the clouds. And when you look down, all you see around you is the top of the clouds. The clouds are mind. You are above mind. Everything beneath the clouds, that's the third dimension. The third dimension is a dimension of mind. Everyone underneath those clouds, underneath mind, is under subconscious control. They're operating really without thinking. They're in a big rush, but they really never thought about where they're going. They're operating subconsciously. You operate subconsciously in the third dimension. We all do. You are above mind. And if you look out, all you see in all directions out the window is blue skies in all directions. This is the fourth dimension, limitless. No limitations, endless in all directions, 360 degrees. Above your head is the sun. We'll get to that. That's the fifth dimension. We'll go there. But for now, I want you to enjoy the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is frictionless, meaning there's all kinds of stuff going on in the third dimension, but those wavelengths don't get to the fourth dimension. It's frictionless. You can look down, you can see what's happening in the third dimension, but it doesn't affect you in the fourth dimension. It's frictionless, not at all affected by the vibrations of mind. Endless in all directions. You are above mind. From here, you can choose any thoughts that you want. Any thoughts. For those of you reading The Cycle of Mind, this would be your thought matrix. Choose any thoughts you want to think. No one's stopping you. Nobody's playing defense. There's no one telling you what to do. There are no systems. There's no structure. There's nothing here except blue sky, limitless in all directions. You are above mind. In the fourth dimension, you're also above time. You can see very clearly how the universe operates in much longer rhythms and cycles. The universe is not at all in a rush. It operates in longer rhythms and cycles. In the third dimension, underneath the clouds, everybody's in a rush. No one is even aware of these longer universal rhythms, but you are. And you can actually plant seeds in the fourth dimension that take advantage and go with these rhythms of time, these longer rhythms of time. When you plant an acorn, you don't get an oak tree the next day. It takes weeks before the plant even pops its head above the ground. It might take 3 years before it's even 2 feet tall. The universe operates in longer rhythms and cycles. And from here, you can plant seeds that will grow in their own time. What do I mean by seeds? New frameworks of thought, new self-talk, new internal dialogue, new habits, new routines, new actions, new ways of being. You can plant those seeds and give them all the time they need to grow. And you can look down on the third dimension and you can actually see your body sitting there in a chair with its eyes closed. Couple of important things you need to know about that. Number one, your body will not move until you tell it to move. Has no mind of its own, has no agenda. It's just sitting there, literally waiting for you to give it instructions. And in absence of giving it instructions, it's operating on the instructions you gave it when you were 2 and 3 and 4 years old. That's your subconscious that you're carrying with you. But it doesn't have to operate according to that anymore. You now are sovereign. You can plant new seeds. You can give that avatar new instructions. An avatar is a gamer analogy where you start out with just a blank avatar. You give it a hair color, a personality, lefty, righty. That's an avatar down there. That's your three-dimensional body. You are not that three-dimensional body. Right now, you can see that and you can plant seeds. You can make that three-dimensional body kinder, more compassionate, more generous. You can start making it to be healthy. You look down at yourself, you say, you know what, I'm tired of all these excuses you've been giving yourself about not being healthy. Now you're going to be healthy because in the fourth dimension, you can control yourself. Now, this is important to understand. The fourth dimension is limitless. You have all the power in the world, but there's an asterisk. You have all the power in the world to change yourself. You can change anything about yourself. I can't change my wife. I can't change my kids. I can't change politics. I can't change the price of Bitcoin. I have no control over that. But I have 100% control over that avatar, that body. I make all the decisions. And I can transform it into anything I want. I can transform that life into any life I want to live. From this vantage point, you can also see what's called your life stream. You can look back in time to the time you were born, and you can see from the time you were born, all those little threads, the people, the school you went to, all the cartoons you watched, the commercials you saw, your first bike, every little thing, every experience, every fear, every success, every joy, every failure, it's all in your life stream, all woven together. And from the fourth dimension, you can look down and you can see your life stream from the time you were born, how it goes right to the present moment. Now, if you're in the third dimension and you're inside the life stream, imagine you're inside that little life stream, life just comes at you and you're just responding to it and trying to figure out how to deal with what just happened. Life is always coming at you. But in the fourth dimension, you see that life stream and you see it right up to the present moment. And you realize that if you don't do anything different, if you don't make any changes, your life stream is just going to continue on exactly as it always has. It's not going to change. But as I said, you can plant new seeds, new habits, new routines, new thought structures. And you can start to bend that life stream to go to new places. You can alter your own life stream. But again, you have to take action right now in the present moment. Those actions that you take will affect your life stream when a longer time period. You don't just go to the gym and get healthy on the first day. You have to keep going every day, repeat it for weeks and months and years. Years later, you're much healthier. But the first day, nothing really happened. You have to keep planting the seeds. We could spend a lot of time on the fourth dimension, and it would be very much worth our time to do it. But we're going to the fifth dimension now. So the fourth dimension is a beautiful place. It's frictionless. The operative word is balance. Everything's cool. All the things that are going on down there simply don't percolate into you anymore. You're frictionless. You see the third dimension. You can take action if you want. You can control yourself, make changes in yourself. You can take an action. You could do anything you want, get a new job, do anything you want in the third dimension, but you can control yourself from a higher dimensional perspective. And as I said, there's much more to say about this, but that's not the purpose of this meditation. So the fourth dimension is a platform where you can look down into the third dimension. You can control your own avatar, you can control your own life stream, but it's also a platform to look up into the fifth dimension and to begin to ascend into that fifth dimensional light. Whereas the third dimension is a dimension of mind, the fifth dimension is a dimension of light. So I want you to see the light of the universe above you. That's the sun, the fifth dimension. And as you rise to it, or as that light comes closer to you, the minute it hits the edge of your energetic field, I want you to absorb all of that light into your own energetic field. Just let it descend and consume you. The light is weaving into your body, into your muscles, into your bones. It's weaving into your cells, your DNA. You're holding all of this infinite light. This is the light of the universe, and it's all the same as you. That energy of that light is your energy. It's all the same. And I want you to realize that there are no borders of skin or bones. Just get rid of those borders. Your essence, who you are, goes across all universes. You are the light of the universe. There is no border to it. There's no beginning. There's no end. You are all of it, and all of it is you. There's no difference between the light of the universe and you can anchor all of that experience into your being. But this light and this energy can also be shared. It's a real place. So I want you to imaginarily, there's about a dozen people here, link arms with the dozen people who are here and feel their light and their energy as it flows through you. You are an essential part of everybody in this room, and everybody in this room is now an essential part of you. Link arms and feel the light getting brighter and brighter. No boundaries, no borders. All of it is you. All of it. I want you to realize there are millions of people on this planet that are beautiful people, hugging their kids, being healthy, being kind, being generous, building their own light. I want you to link arms with those millions of people and see how the light gets brighter and brighter and brighter as we all ascend together. I want you to see what you really are. I want you to imagine you're above the earth, and around the earth is this veil of light. And as you get closer to that light, you see that all it really is a series of millions of individual points. And when your light gets brighter, the light of the earth gets brighter. When we link arms and we get brighter, the light of the earth gets brighter. When we link arms with a million people, the earth gets brighter. We're all part of the same thing. You're not ascending for yourself. You're ascending to share your light with the collective, and the collective is ascending to share our light with our own planet. Just enjoy that light, bathing in it. You are it, radiating from you, into you, through you, around you. Everybody else is part of it. There is no individual in the fifth dimension. We are all together. We are all the same light. I want you now to imagine that you are now above the light, and that light, that infinite light, is below you. This is the sixth dimension, also frictionless. Everything that's going on in the third, fourth, and fifth dimension, you can see it, but it doesn't percolate into you. It doesn't affect you. You are frictionless. You are above light. In fact, the sixth dimension is the impossible to imagine place. But here we are in it. It's this impossible to imagine place where Source comes to us as one unity and then boom, explodes into infinite individual instantiations. And in the sixth dimension, you are literally at that transition point from Source to everything that's created, from uncreated potential source into created reality. And you in the sixth dimension are above all of that, frictionless. The sixth dimension is I call it the dimension of clarity. This is where time stands still. There is only this moment of constant explosion into everything that is, everything that's ever manifest. In the sixth dimension, time stands still, and there is only this moment, and there is never anything other than this moment. Even as you move physically, you are moving in this one moment. Time stands still. And when you anchor yourself here, you need patience. You need to cultivate patience because there is no reason. You have no urge to say anything, no urge to do anything, no urge to be anywhere else. You're right here, right at the very point, the explosion point of creation, the sixth dimension, frictionless, standing still, the now moment, nothing more than that. Imagine yourself standing in the sixth dimension with your palms up and their light codes are in your palm. And you are just merging with the light codes of the universe and you feel it in your own physical body. And you are those light codes. You are the light codes. You define. And the sixth dimension is the place where the collective is born. As a collective in the sixth dimension, boom, the energy that we piece together, the personality that we create as a collective is boom, what manifests in the universe. This is where we gather to define our own future. The sixth dimension is also a dimension of timelines where you can swipe through the millions of wasted timelines where you're just confused and you don't know what to do. Swipe through all those timelines, and we're going to define a more positive timeline, an infinitely possible timeline. And together as a collective, we're going to energize that timeline, and it will manifest. However it will, whenever it will, as it will. In one ancient manuscript, I don't recall off the top of my head, they called this the place where you just let go of the sutras. You let go of all the teachings and you just are. You are above all created universe. Let go of the sutras because they don't matter. You are now experiencing it. And now, here's the beauty of the sixth dimension. We're going to turn our attention to the seventh dimension. The seventh dimension is the pulsation. The universe is created periodically, several thousand, several trillion times a second. The universe is created in an explosion of energy. And that pulsation is where the seventh dimension, it's before it breaks up into individual instantiations. It's all the pulsation, all the power of the universe. And I want you to look into the seventh dimension, release yourself, surrender into that pulsation, and feel that pulsation of the entire universe flowing through your being. Feel the pulsation going through you as the universe is created, and feel the pulsation being drawn back as it's drawn back to source. And then, boom, it's created again. And that pulsation goes through you trillions of times a second. And you are just in that pulsation. You are that pulsation. Just surrender, release, and allow the pulsation of source to flow through you without obstruction. You are in the flow of source. You are the flow of source. That is you. You are that. Let's just enjoy that pulsation for a few more minutes. Feel it, experience it. Feel it in your skin, your muscles, your bones, your cells, your DNA. You are the full power of the universe before it even explodes into the many, many things. And when all that power gets drawn back, the pulsation flows through you again. And then boom, comes out again. And you are that pulsation. Hmm. You can return to the sixth dimension. And again, present moment. Time stands still. You are literally at that impossible place where the power of the universe is unified in one pulsation. And boom, right? Comes into the sixth dimension, but when it leaves the sixth dimension, it's everything. It's boom, exploded into zillions of universes and zillions and countless things. Some of those bursts of light manifest in the third dimension, some stay in the fifth dimension, who knows? But you are above that and frictionless in the sixth dimension. Just nothing but the now moment. Time stands still. There. And when you're ready, just come back, become aware of your breathing. When you're ready, just come back. But what I want you to do when you come back is I want you to give me a little bit of a description about what you felt. Why? Because I want you to embody that experience, not just have the experience. I want you to linger in it. I want you to become familiar with all the feelings and all the pulsations and vibrations, all the things that went through your mind. What happened to you as we rose and ascended for the fourth dimension to the fifth dimension, expanded beyond the boundaries of your own body, the sixth dimension where you're looking down literally on all creation. You are all of that. And then the seventh, with that deep pulsation running through you. Tell me how you felt. And the reason, again, is because I want you to linger in it. I want you to feel this is muscle memory. The more you do this meditation, the more you'll feel comfortable in these higher dimensions. Oneness. Powerful, expansive, and clear. It's important that you verbalize this to anchor the experience, not for me, but for you, that you become more, just use all your senses and start to familiarize yourself with this level of awareness so that you can get back to it and get back to it again and get back to it again. All is well. Calmness, release, weightlessness. Excellent. There's a couple of things I didn't talk about. The fifth dimension, for those of you that are um, following the alien story, if you will, um, we are told that these are fifth dimensional beings, a fifth dimensional society that exists on some other planet in some other dimension, and they're making themselves known to us in our third dimensional world through certain selected channels. We're not in the fifth dimension. We're above that. We're anchoring as a collective. We're anchoring in the sixth dimension. So whatever knowledge we get about the fifth dimension, we will be able to understand how to use. We're going to learn how to use it. We're not going to be, oh my God, they gave us this incredible information. We're going to say, okay, this is good information. How can we use it? We're going to learn. See, when right now you're in the fourth dimension and you're feeling like really cool and limitless, and then when you lose that, you go back into the third dimension. In the sixth dimension, when we fully anchor there, you'll lose that and you'll go back into the fifth dimension, and you'll do things that have a parallel. Anything you do in the fifth dimension has a parallel to the third dimension, but not, you don't do that intentionally. It's just the way it is. So we're going to learn about the fifth dimension and we're going to use it to our own advantage, which is what the knowledge is for in the first place. Peaceful and light, calm. Yep. All right. What I want to do is I want to just have a few breakout groups. I'm going to set three breakout groups with three or four of you in each one. Um, and what I'd like you to do is just kind of debrief. Don't get into your whole third dimensional story. Just kind of debrief about this experience and kind of linger in this higher dimensional awareness, understanding that when we talk, this is why people don't like talking after a meditation. It's kind of like dogs barking. It's just a projection of energy. It's a very low vibration of energy. So in the fifth dimension, and there's really not a lot of talking. It's more a telepathic dimension. There's not a lot of talking because talking is lower energy. It's lower vibrational energy. But I do want you to talk because we are a collective and we do have to get to know one another. So I'm going to put you guys in breakout rooms. I'm going to set up three breakout rooms, and I'm going to give you, oh, let's 7:50. Let's come back in say 15 minutes. So each of you take four or five. Well, you know what? I'm going to let you choose which room you want to go in. And if you don't like your room, no hurt feelings. Just pop out and go into another room, and just share your experience and be there to listen to other people's experience. just go ahead and join a room and other people will follow you. All right. We need more people in rooms 2 and 3. Anybody? Here we go. I don't know. It's not just popping up. I'm not sure how to explain it. If it's not popping up for you. I think other people are just seeing it pop up. All right. Well, I'll just assign. So there you go, John. I'm going to assign you to room 1. Emily, you said you couldn't see it. I'll assign you to room 1. And then Amy, there you go. We'll put you in room 2. Angela's in room 2. Carolyn's in room 2. And Kendra is in room 2. Hi, Kendra. Everything okay, Carolyn? Kendra, you guys okay?
Miss Carolyn, I'm fine. Just didn't know what to say.
There you go. That's fine. That's okay. I don't want to put any pressure on anybody. How was your experience in this meditation, Carolyn?
It was nice, just floating around up out of our galaxy.
Funny that you don't like speaking, but you're a beautiful writer. Even just the very short thing that you wrote in the chat was just so eloquent. It was just beautiful.
That's when I have time to think, and
Mm,
and I'm not talking to anybody else. It's talking to people that makes me nervous.
I hear you. I hear you. Beautiful writer. I mean, the way you expressed your experience was just beautiful, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Angela. Everything okay? I'm going to give him another 7 or 8 minutes. I am also going to pop in and just make, I'm pretty sure they're talking. Otherwise, they would have popped out. I'll just leave it as is. Uh-huh. I understand. I'll move you into room number. Why can't I move you into room 3? That's weird. Well, I can't. I can't figure it out. It's not allowing me to move you into room 3, which is, I think, where you came from. Huh. I don't think you're crazy, Angela. I think there's something about room 3. I'm going to put you in if you want to. I'll move you into room. Yeah, I can't get you back there for some reason. I only see 2 options, room 1 and room 2. If you'd like, this is going to be for another 6 or 7 minutes. I can put you, or we can chat here if you'd like, or I can put you into room 1. Um, so silence means I'm going to put you in room 1, which is apparently what I can do. There you go. All right, wonderful. I'd love you all to give me some feedback about your experience, the meditation, what you guys discussed in the breakout, but I do want to go back to Joey. Are you still here? Um, Joey, you had asked about, is this a something you shouldn't be doing on your own, or is there kind of a danger or fear? What was your experience? Because you've apparently had someone else walk you through their own version of higher dimensional understanding.
Yeah, thanks. So I think I can differentiate what we were doing and what might be the only other word I can think of is maybe like an astral projection kind of experience. So I think maybe what I had experienced in the past was more of that nature. And this was a little bit different. So, I mean, we talked in our breakout group. I think we all just really benefited from this experience. So thank you. I think I've kind of clarified in my mind um, the difference.
You mentioned astral projection. Astral projection is a third dimensional activity. You're
Mm.
still in the third dimension. You're just moving different places. You're just lifted your etheric body out of your physical body after trying and practicing, waking yourself up at 2 in the morning or whatever their techniques are. But all you're doing is you are just simply going other places and meeting other people in the third dimension. You're not actually ascending to any higher understanding. And it's important to know, like in a near death experience, I told you that the third dimension is like a dimension of mind vibration. In a near death experience, and I'm sure you've all seen them all on YouTube, there's thousands of them. When you die, you hover over the body. That's astral projection. You're hovering over the body. You still know who you are. You know who all those people are. You understand the situation. You still are very clear about your own life. And then what happens in almost every description is they go through a vortex or a tunnel. And then when they pop out of the tunnel, there's just clear light. That tunnel is tunneling through mind, essentially tunneling through the density of the vibration. And as the light withdraws, you feel like you're going through a tunnel, you're tunneling through mind. And there you end up in the fourth dimension / fifth dimension, experiencing all these things. So anyway, I just said that, but thank you for clarifying, because what you did was more astral projection, and that makes more sense, because you do have to protect yourself, because you are meeting randos, random energy, random people, good, bad, anybody can do it. If the CIA can do it, anybody can do it. And so that's astral projection, and that's a whole different experience. In my worldview, that's like a third dimensional experience, more of an ethereal body. All right. Thank you for that. Any comments, any thoughts on the meditation, what you guys shared? I'd love to hear everyone's experience. I want to just keep that experience lingering with you for a few more minutes.
I'll go. In our group, I will, I'll let others speak for themselves, but for the most part, I mean, everyone really enjoyed it. It was great, difference from, relaxing, peaceful, calm to, visual, to vibrational. So, mine was so peaceful, I almost started to fall asleep. I think I might have started to dip my head, so I'm glad I wasn't on camera. But I just felt, just so completely just relaxed and grounded and safe and like warm, like a hug of white crystal or like energy or light just embraced around me like a warm hug. And then I think I just got tired, and I'm glad I wasn't on camera. So, but it was great. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, John, for sharing. Appreciate it. Anyone else want to have experiences to share?
I do.
Hey, go ahead, Ida.
Oh, okay. So, like I said, I kind of fell off the wagon with meditating. I trying to stay consistent, not being patient with myself, and I wasn't stacking up. I was even not stacking up, which kind of I was totally off the wagon. So I'm so glad we did this meditation, and I always enjoy the part where you say, you know, lock arms, link arms. And then whenever you said about the millions of people, I don't remember that last time. You may have done it last time. But that just was really, whew, that was really powerful for me. That the oneness that we're all going through it, um, the anxiety or, unsure of the country's future, you know, and it just kind of, we're over the sixth dimension and the seventh dimension. It was just all faded away.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Ida. The experience in the fifth dimension, which we will experience the sixth dimension. That's where we're anchoring. And so the fifth dimension is going to be a real thing for us at some point. And it's difficult to grasp until you experience it. It's not the third dimension. And the more you hold on to the third dimension and the roles and the stories and the work and effort that you put in, the more you put your energy into that, the less you'll experience that. But it's interesting because in letting it go, all of a sudden you're in the fifth and sixth and seventh dimension and someone's talking to you and they're like, I don't really care what they're saying. Like it doesn't really matter what they're talking about. It's honestly, this is how I feel when my family gets together for the holidays. I'm just sitting there, I'm in my own head and they're talking about, I don't know what. If I were interested in it, I would talk to them about it. Occasionally someone will talk about college football or tennis or something and I can jump in the conversation. But you lose that connection with it and people fear that. I think that's the biggest fear is losing who you are, losing your identity. But we're all volunteering to ascend. We're all volunteering to ascend. And that means plucking yourself out of the third dimensional matrix, waking yourself up out of the matrix and moving towards something higher, anchoring your mind, your effort, your habits, your thought structures into something higher and pulling yourself up there. And to the extent that you can do that, the third dimension gets further and further away. The more you hold on to it, then you kind of you do a little bit of ascending and a little bit of holding on, a little bit of ascending, and that's just everybody's journey. But that fifth dimension is immersive. I didn't explain this time. I may have explained it last time. The odd dimensions are like thick. Like the third dimension is an experiential dimension. You live in it, you experience in it. The fifth dimension is light, you experience in it. The seventh dimension is pulsation, you experience in it. The ninth dimension, I won't talk about, but that's another experience. The 10th, the 8th, all the even ones are like you're like at the barbecue, like you see these hamburgers and then the piece of paper and then another hamburger, another piece of paper. The second, the fourth, the sixth, the 8th, the 10th, they're just like pieces of paper. They really don't exist. It's like the imaginary point at which it's no longer mind and hasn't started to be light yet. It's like that imaginary place where you're above mind and under the light. And it's imaginary, but it's necessary and it's real. And you can park yourself in the fourth and the sixth and the eighth and the 10th dimension. You can park yourself there where you have access to the dimension above and access to the dimension below. And I didn't mention that, but the fourth and the sixth, which is what two of the ones we talked about today, are like flat, frictionless. There's no experience, there's no doing there. But in the third dimension is where all the doing happens. And in the fifth dimension is where all the doing happens. So it's hard to picture because I don't see it and I haven't experienced it yet. But apparently we're going to learn a lot about the fifth dimension, but it's going to be beautiful, blissful, peaceful, heart-centered, wonderful, balanced. That's great. But it's also going to be confusing for us because it's an experiential thing. And anything that you experience involves a learning process, which is why I want to perch in the sixth dimension and be able to go into the fifth dimension at will and also not get lost in there and get confused, but, perch and then go to higher dimensions. So I'm just adding that piece of information. All right.
Oh, I was going to share just a little bit. I just want to say hi. This is my first Zoom. I just found you on TikTok yesterday and just really resonated with me. And what I'm very new on this, I don't know if it's called a spiritual journey, but just kind of waking up, I guess. So thank you. I'm glad to be here. I was saying in my group, just kind of, I'm very visual. So like in the meditating, when we were in the sixth or the higher dimensions above the light, it was, like, where is my mind? Like, what am I kind of like visualizing right now? And I kind of related to it, I guess this, I don't know, projecting, but 70s kind of like being at a kid's birthday party, like bouncy house, and like, kind of playing in that kind of bouncy house, and then like coming back to the 60s, kind of just like hanging out at the table, reconvening, like just like that was, fun. Like
Well, you're correct. The sixth dimension is kind of a flat thing. It's more of a thought experiment. What would happen if the universe were pulsing but hadn't yet blown up into a million individual things? Like, what would that be like? That's the sixth dimension. And the fourth dimension is what would happen if you're above mind but still below light. So you're correct. It's like the adult table. It's like the
Yeah.
table, and then the bouncy house is the pulsation. That's a good analogy. What else, Amy?
Oh, just, I mean, you can see I turned my camera on, just feeling very calm and happy to be here. And I feel like this is kind of like light work that we're doing. Emily in our group also had a, kind of good reminder to us when we were kind of getting into the 3D, just about how she's done these groups with like thousands of people meditating, and just how important it is right now for us to be doing this.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. And anyone else want to, before I jump into another topic? 3, 2, 1, over. All right. So I want to point out that when I talk about meditation, first of all, I want you to replace the word meditation with the word balance. I'm not going to meditate before I go to sleep. I'm going to bring myself to balance before I go to sleep. Doesn't really matter what you meditate about. Doesn't matter how long you meditate. It's that you showed up for yourself and you brought yourself to alignment and balance before you go to sleep. And you did the same thing when you woke up. And now you can anchor yourself in alignment in the morning and at night. And then in the day, it's going to be crazy. But slowly over time, you're going to start to find clarity. But if you don't anchor yourself, if you don't do these meditations or balance, bring yourself to balance, then when you wake up, it's just you start your day and it's already crazy. And then maybe you won't even meditate that night. And if you miss it for 2, 3, 4 days, it's gone. You've lost it. So you got to hang on to your meditation practice. That's really important. And when I say meditation, I don't mean thinking of nothing. This is like the classic description or instructions that you were given. Just close your eyes and think about nothing. That's impossible for a beginner. So I believe in guided meditations, and guided meditations don't note, not one time did I say clear your mind, think about nothing. All I said was reverse your awareness to inside, give your mind something to think about, give it a task, reverse your awareness to your inner sight, your inner being. Now I'm not thinking of nothing. I'm scanning my inner being. Every meditation that we do, this is the book where these meditations come from. In this book, though, I don't go into the fifth and the sixth and the seventh. I just stop at the fourth. But in every one of those meditations, reverse your awareness, and then I give you a guided meditation to open up a different aspect of your being, a different ability that you have, a different feature, that you can now activate. But it's not about quieting your mind. But here's the paradox. When you do guided meditation for a long period of time, guess what happens? You can quiet your mind. You can release all attachments. You can let go of desires. You can't do that in the beginning. You have to condition yourself. So this is a journey, if you will. Like, we just went to the destination, and you can bypass the whole journey by just keep going back to that fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh dimensional meditation. And for anyone that wants a copy of it, I did cut out that meditation from last week, very similar to what we just did. And I can give you the link if you message me on Substack, on our Substack chat. Just message me, find me there and message me, and I'll give you the link to it. And the more you do this meditation, you can see, here's what I believe. I believe you don't have to have any certain level of spiritual experience. I don't think you have to have done this before. I don't think you even I think, like Amy, you just said, this is your first real, venture into this whole journey of enlightenment and higher understanding. You don't need to spend 20, 30 years to do this. You just need a little bit of guidance, a little bit of knowledge, and somebody to point you in the right direction. Then it's on you to continue to experience this. And what we're doing is we are reconditioning our physical body, our energetic system, just releasing the meditation number 2 in this book, Meditation for Life, which, by the way, we'll talk about on Friday afternoon. We'll actually do meditation number 2, is about clearing space, just clearing space in your physical body, clearing space in your emotional body, and just eliminating anything that's not energy or light. Just get rid of it. It's not really you. It was never you in the first place. All those subconscious beliefs that you're holding on to, all the stories, the roles you're playing, that isn't the essence of you. And the more you release that, the easier it is to experience this, to anchor these higher energies, and to stay in this higher state of consciousness. It's all about, as I say over and over again, it's about muscle memory. Keep returning to these higher dimensions, and whatever your level of experience, doesn't really matter. Whatever your understanding of these dimensions, that begins to become your reality. First, it's a shadow reality. This is your real reality. This is a little bit of a shadow reality. After a few weeks, months, all of a sudden they're equal. And then I'm telling you, if you keep doing the work, this then becomes the reality. And the interesting thing about the 6th dimension, the 4th dimension I explained, is only your power. You have unlimited power, but it's personal power. It's only power to change yourself. The 6th dimension is the flip. It's the opposite. The 6th dimension only works with collective power. So I'm trying to anchor myself in the 6th dimension. And I don't do this work from an ivory tower. I'm a regular person. When we X out of here, I have things to do, and I got to keep myself in balance and I got my own work to do. So I'm trying to anchor in the 6th dimension. But as I explain this to more people, and boop, they grasp what I'm saying, watch what happens. The minute you grasp the 6th dimension, now there's an energy connection. And this is not a physical energy connection. It's not a verbal connection. It's not dependent on space or time. It's a 6th dimensional energy that only exists when we connect. And then when the 3rd person shows up, now there's more energy, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, etc. This is the collective. We are like a circle. The collective, you can imagine, is just a circle that gathers these energies and holds them and maintains them. Because when you come up, to interact with the collective, or you come up to the 6th dimension, and then you leave and go back to your 3-dimensional life, we're capturing that energy. That energy was important. It's real. It exists. It existed, and we capture it as a collective. And then as a collective, as we grow, we will start to learn how to point that energy to the timeline that we want. Now, let me also explain this idea of timelines. If you've been on the TikTok live, you've heard this. Imagine yourself in a very narrow corridor. On the left wall over here is millions and millions and millions of doors. The corridor that you're in now is the present moment. You got to this present moment through a particular door. Even 5 minutes ago, you could have made a million decisions. You could have come in through any other million doors, but you came in through this door. Now, changing your timeline means I really want a timeline, a reality where I'm healthier and happier and more abundant, and my relationships are deeper and more meaningful. I just want a better life that I imagine for myself. I want to be on that timeline up there. But you can't reach that door from the present moment. So you can't just jump to a new timeline. But what you can do is, instead of the door you came in, you could go up a little higher, and you can go to that door, and then the next door a little bit higher and a little bit higher. And over time, you're planting seeds in the present moment, and it's always the present moment. You're planting seeds that are rising you eventually to that timeline. Remember, I told you the universe operates in longer rhythms and cycles. So you can start to work with that, and you can eventually be on that, where you're always moving towards the timeline. Or you're not moving to that timeline. You're just doing the same things over and over and over again. You go through the same door over and over and over again. Or you can raise yourself up and be a little bit healthier, and be a little bit healthier tomorrow, a little bit more. Eventually you get on that health timeline that you want. In the 6th dimension, it's different because of this collective power that we are able to generate. It's kind of like free energy, free power. We can create this human energy that we can coalesce and connect and direct. I call the sixth dimension, another name for it is the dimension of timelines. As a collective, we can choose a much higher timeline, bypass all the timelines that don't serve us. Nope, don't want that one. Nope, this swipe left. Don't want that one. Don't want that one. No, let me get rid of all these. Let me tell you what I really want. I want that timeline way up there. And as a collective, because we have this higher energy and we're collecting it and directing it, we can energize that timeline. For those of you that know the meditation technique that I'm talking about, we can energize that timeline and become that energy and manifest that timeline through the use of six-dimensional magnetic energy. Sounds crazy, but it's true. And that's what awaits us, right? So again, the collective is larger. The smaller group of people inside the collective who are ascending, they're the ones, I mean, everyone gets the benefit of being in the collective, right? So anybody can be in the collective. You just got to pay $10 a month, you're in the collective. But there are a smaller group of people who are ascending. And that's who we're working with tonight. I don't work with those 7 days a week, but you guys are special because you say, yeah, I want that. I want to understand what it's like to be a higher version of myself. I want to understand what it's like to be a healthier version of myself. I have ascension goals, if you will. Like I really desire to see those timelines. Then that's my contract with you. I'll help you get there. But not everyone is interested in that. But that doesn't mean they're not in the collective or they can't be in the collective. They're just not interested in ascending, if that makes sense. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. And Villa, I know like it's got to be 4 in the morning where you are, right? You're awesome to be here. That's a bigger commitment than I would make. I love my sleep. So 4 a.m. would be tough for me. Any thoughts, comments? Anyone want to share anything, their experience or their thoughts?
I can say something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm now warming up in sauna. Here is like maybe minus now, maybe -1 degree. Maybe -1 degree now here.
I
So
can barely,
came to
I can
sauna.
barely hear you. It's very, does everyone else hear that? It's very muffled. Like it's very hard to hear what you're
Okay.
saying.
Okay, wait. I have Bluetooth. Momento.
Is now hearing better?
Oh yeah, much better. Quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm now in sauna warming up a little bit. Here is maybe -1 degrees outside. I was outside all the time, meditating on the lake
Nice.
with the
And
candlelight. Maybe.
I appreciate you spending time with us. So anyway, I won't get into a lot more deep. I appreciate you spending time with us. For those of you that want to contribute energy, the best thing to do would be go on to this. You all have Substack. You all got this invitation, so you know what Substack is. On our Substack page is a chat, and we happen to be in the middle of a deep breathing challenge. Where the goal is to do your deep breathing every day for the rest of the month of September. So it's definitely, you still have 7, 8 days to go. So if you want to do your deep breathing, jump into that challenge and those comments, but just comment, introduce yourself, and just add your energy to the chat, add your energy to the collective. And that's really what I wanted to say. Does anyone else have any last minute thoughts, comments? All right, let's end with deep breathing. Oh, go ahead. Someone was going to say something?
Yeah, me. That was very nice. Nice that you put it like we starting with airplane going up. So that was nice. Above the clouds, you told that like we are in a 3D, and I come there to watch me that here okay. Then I go back up.
There you go. And you can use this
Yeah.
meditation. And if anyone wants the full meditation, just hit me up in Substack with a private message and I'll send it to you. I'll send you the links. I'll also send you the links to all of these Ascension workshops so you can watch them all. This is the fourth one that we've done. So we're going to continue to do this every Tuesday night. I appreciate you guys. I hope to see some of you on the Substack chat. Just one other thing, because I know a lot of people are on TikTok. I don't really know what's happening with TikTok, but I take it on good authority that it's about to be sold to an American conglomerate. The minute that happens, I'm out. I'm unplugged from TikTok. I'm unplugged from Facebook and Instagram. I don't support that company. And I would not, this to me, if this were to happen the way they're laying it out, the brand itself, the TikTok brand itself would just be diminished, almost like poison. Like I wouldn't want to have anything to do with it. So I'm going to unplug. And what that means is I'm going to start to do more lives throughout the week on Substack. So you already are subscribers. If you turn on your notifications, you'll be notified when I go live. So those of you that want to continue to go to the lives, it'll be a much smaller group, but it'll be a group of people that are already in the collective, as opposed to a larger group of people where only, you know, one or two or five or six are really interested. So I wanted to thank you for your energy. So this is like a transition point for us. So the destruction of TikTok is actually an opportunity for us to grow and adapt and learn and move on to different platforms. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for your time this evening. I love you all. That's it.
You
I'm a
also.
real person. You can contact me on Substack. That's my platform of choice lately. So I'm a real person. If you want to talk, anybody wants to talk about anything, I would love it. I love your energy, and I really appreciate you guys being here, for your showing up for yourself, showing up for me, showing up for the collective, and let's keep the energy going. So thank you all. Oh, I wanted to end with 3 deep breaths. So those of you that are doing the deep breathing challenge, you get a cheat code. The deep breathing is a 2-step deep breath. First of all, why do we deep breathe? Because I'm in this room, door is closed, windows closed, but even in this small room that I'm in, there's an infinite amount, way more than I could ever use, of oxygen and chi or prana or life force. And what I want to do when I deep breathe is take the oxygen, the fuel that's out there, and put it in here where it belongs. And once I get it in here into my lungs, then it gets distributed to every cell in my body. And every cell needs 2 things to live. It can't live for more than 2 minutes without these 2 things. If you don't get these 2 things for 2 minutes, you're gone. Your cells will just stop functioning. Number 1 is oxygen. That's required by every cell in your body. You have 40 trillion cells. They need oxygen, and they need the chi or the prana or the life force. When you breathe like this, you're giving your cells the minimum amount of fuel. You want to breathe like this, so that your cells, because by the way, when you breathe like this year after year, decade after decade, your cells are getting the barest minimum of oxygen and life force, and they operate at the lowest vibratory rate. And what we want to do is we want to hyperoxygenate. You want to expand your lung capacity, become a deep breather. And by overemphasizing deep breathing for the month of September, you're literally giving yourself a gift of health that'll last the rest of your life. When you become a deep breather, it's just healthy, because when you give your cells the oxygen and the life force that they need in healthy quantities, they start to vibrate at a higher level and they operate more efficiently. And not just does your frequency and your inner vibration change, but your immune system gets stronger. And this is really important over the next 8, 10, 25, 30 years. There's going to be all kinds of viruses sweeping through the population. And if your immune system is high, you're very likely to survive all. If your immune system is low, one of these viruses is going to catch you. So you want to increase your immune system by becoming a deep breather. So the deep breath is 2 parts. First is the diaphragm leads it through the nose. And you get as far as you can there. And the second part of the deep breath is through your mouth, and you're going to pull your ribs apart. You've got these, what are called intercostal muscles. You're going to get in touch with those muscles and like pull your ribs as far apart as your body. So we're going to do 3 deep breaths, and then we're done for the night. 2-part breath. First nose, then mouth with ribs apart. Hold it at the top for 1 or 2 heartbeats. When you exhale, push your ribs in and push your diaphragm in, like get that muscle memory. 3 deep breaths. It's free. It takes less than a minute. You can do it every morning when you wake up. I do it in front of a mirror to make sure I'm fully expanding, relax my back muscles, get my, when you want to breathe, you want to get your elbows away from your body. Like a football player, you put your hands on your hips because you can expand your lungs. You want to get your elbows away from your body and really expand your lung capacity. This literally is paying it forward for your own health. Whatever future you imagine, I promise you, you want to be healthy. I promise you, you want your full energetic health at the cellular level. That's the health we're going for. And so any timeline you imagine, you want to be healthy. This is how you plant seeds right now today to get that level of health in the future. And think long term. Think 3 months from now, 3 years from now. Look back and you'll be a deep breather. You want to get the muscle memory. You want to make it part of your life. You want to integrate it. It's really important. So anyway, everyone have a great day. I'll see you on the Substack chat. And I'll be going Substack live tomorrow, and we'll see how many folks show up on Substack, and we're just going to kind of transition into that, and we're moving into a new phase. So thank you all so much for being here. I look forward to meeting you all one-on-one at some point in the future. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Everyone take care.